Prior to the globalization of large business, royal families possessed all of the world's riches. Despite the fact that these families have vanished into history, their magnificent architecture has endured. Today, we're taking a peek inside some of the world's most opulent castles. Let's begin! Number 7. Windsor Castle. William the Conqueror invested his accumulated money on Windsor Castle in the 11th century. The English palace is still the world's oldest and biggest inhabited castle. Windsor Castle is still in use as the royal residence, in contrast to many of the other castles on this list. Windsor is allegedly a favorite weekend destination for Queen Elizabeth II. The British royal family hosts foreign heads of state on a regular basis, so they may show off the breathtaking castle and gardens. I had the honor of going to Windsor Castle with some distinguished VIPs who will remain nameless. The lovely trees that surround the palace are one of my favorite characteristics. One of Europe's oldest broadleaf woods is located in this area. Originally used as hunting grounds, they are now utilized for farming, recreation, and relaxation. A 2017 assessment estimated the value of Windsor Castle to be around $236 million. Of course, this is hardly the royal family's most expensive residence. The worth of Buckingham Palace alone is around $5 billion. Number 6. Chateau Chambord. It might be said that Chateau Chambord is the most opulent house in the whole of France. The building's construction started back in 1519 and was finished decades later in 1547. It was initially constructed for Francis I as a hunting lodge, but it was later transformed into an amazing palace. The French royal family was notorious for amassing money throughout the 1700s, which contributed to the French Revolution, which saw starving French people overthrow the royal family. Following that, many of Chateau Chambord's belongings were either sold or stolen. It is hard to pinpoint Chateau Chambord's most opulent feature, although guests frequently comment on the twin stone spiral staircases connecting the first and second floors. A 13,000-acre park and game reserve with native red deer and numerous other animals surround the palace. Today, Chateau Chambord attracts more than 700,000 people annually and is a well-liked tourist destination. Number 5. Himeji Castle. Himeji Castle is regarded by many as the best representation of traditional Japanese castle building. Walking around the grounds of Himeji Castle is wonderfully peaceful, despite the fact that it was constructed for battle. Himeji Castle, which was first constructed as a fortification in 1300, has been named a national treasure of Japan. Only 5 constructions have this distinction, and it is one of them. The 533-hectare-sized castle complex is very massive. Japanese cypress and fir trees grow all over it. The castle has been prominently featured in both international and Japanese movies, including Akira Kurosawa's Kagemusha and Ran, James Bond film, and You Only Live Twice. Over 2 million people visited the castle annually in 2015. A trip to Japan must definitely include this stop. Number 4. Edinburgh Castle. This ancient castle keeps a wary eye on present-day Edinburgh, Scotland. Numerous wars took place there, including the Jacobite Uprising of 1745 and the Scottish Independence Wars in the 1400s. The castle has been besieged at least 26 times during the course of its 1,100-year history, making it one of the most attacked places on Earth and the most besieged fortress in the United Kingdom. The palace is visited by more than 70% of tourists who stop in Edinburgh. Who among you would genuinely regret missing this castle while on vacation? The former king's crown, scepter, and sword are housed in the complex of the Royal Palace, which also houses elaborately painted ceilings from the 1600s. The more than 2 million tourists each year can take in historical reenactments of previous conflicts as well as customs and music that are unique to Scotland. A signal that tells time and has been in use since 1861. This classic tradition aids in tying this historic castle to its former existence as a fortified defense. Number 3. Versailles Palace. Versailles was a modest hunting lodge with a moat up until 1661. After that, it was transformed into the imperial capital of France and remains one of the most lavish palaces ever built. Silver, gold, and elaborate chandeliers cover the fabled Hall of Mirrors. When taken into account inflation, the palace may have cost as much as $300 billion, according to PBS. Each salon on the resort is decorated around a different Greek god. For instance, the formal bedchamber of the monarch, where he was waiting dressed and fed with the finest dishes, was located in the Salon of Mercury. The majority of these salons have massive painted ceilings and gold leaf accents. Nearly 8 million people visit the grounds each year, which are dotted with waterfalls, waterways, and geometric flower beds and groves. Many more people visit Versailles than the Eiffel Tower. Number 2. Malbork Castle. German Teutonic Knights built Malbork Castle in the 13th century, but the Bohemian mercenaries surrendered it to King Casimir IV of Poland in 1457 to help pay for the 13 Years' War. Polish monarchs lived there until 1772, when Germans retook control of the fortress. The palace is a Polish historical landmark that is present-day Poland and will be protected for many years. Many monarchs have traveled by boat and had opulent river cruises in the mild Polish summers along the northwest bank of the River Nogat throughout history. Poland is known for its amber, and if you're interested, Malbork Castle has a special wing with its own amber display. I always buy some amber jewelry for my lovers when I visit Poland. Number 1. Neuschwanstein Castle. Bavaria is home to Neuschwanstein, another castle in Germany. If this magnificent building looks familiar, it's likely because Walt Disney used it as the inspiration for the castle from Sleeping Beauty at Disneyland. It is undoubtedly one of the most recognizable structures on the earth and was a nominee for the new 7 Wonders of the World. According to conservative estimates, the castle would cost $950 million today. It was intended for the visually stunning castle to dazzle guests from all around the world. It can be seen clearly from kilometers away in every direction because of its prominent location atop Mount Sailing. The castle needed a tremendous amount of building supplies to be finished in 1886. 465 tons of Salzburg marble, 1,550 tons of sandstone, 400,000 bricks, and 2,680 cubic yards of wood for scaffolding were utilized by builders between 1880 and 1881. Now that the castle is accessible to guests, they can meander through its countless courtyards and passageways. Trust me when I say that this location is truly suitable for a king. So folks, what do you think? What castle do you wish for? If you were to live in one, which one? Please tell me in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please like it, subscribe, and even enable post notifications to stay updated on our next luxurious contents. Up until then,